All right, let's talk about the airport. If you've ever felt a little unsure about what to say or do when you're traveling, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through the entire journey from start to finish to help you feel super confident with your airport English. Let's jump right in. First things first, let's meet our travelers for the day, Ellie and Sam. They're heading to London. And it's kind of funny. Their packing stories actually give us a neat little grammar insight. Ellie says she was too excited to sleep, so she was still packing late last night. That's the past continuous tense for an action in progress. But Sam, he was all organized. He says, I didn't want to forget anything, which is the simple past. We're going to follow these two on their entire adventure. So think of this as our map for today. We're following Ellie and Sam's flight path through 5 key stages. We'll start at the check-in counter, then we'll navigate through the terminal, take a little break in the airport lounge, and finally, make our way to gate B12 for boarding. It's pretty much the standard journey for most flights. Now, as we're following their story, I want you to keep one little question in the back of your mind. The answer is going to pop up pretty early on during their check-in, so keep your ears open. The question is, what is the weight limit for the suitcase? We'll circle back to this at the end and see if you caught it. Okay, and so the journey begins. First up is the check-in counter. This is your first major stop where you get that all-important boarding pass and drop off your big suitcases. So let's listen in on Ellie and Sam's chat with the airline staff. The very first thing you're probably going to hear is a really polite, formal question, just like this one. May I see your passport, please? It's the standard way to get things started. So what's a good way to reply? And here you go. It's actually super simple. A natural, friendly response is all you need. You can say, of course, here you are, or even just, sure, here you go. Both are perfect, and honestly, they work anytime you're handing something to someone. Easy, right? Okay, now for that key detail I mentioned. Once the bag is on the scale, the staff tells them the weight limit. It's 23 kilograms. Now, remember that number because a little snag is about to come up for one of our travelers. Uh-oh, and there it is. Sam's bag weighs 24 kilograms. That's 1 kilogram over the limit. This is such a common thing to happen, and it can be a little stressful. Usually this means you'd have to open your bag right there and take something out. But today is Sam's lucky day. The airline staff is really nice about it. They say, it's only 1 kilogram over. I'll let it go this time. Now that phrase, to let it go, is so useful. It's just a casual way of saying you're going to ignore a small mistake or a broken rule. Sam really lucked out there. All right, check-in is done and dusted. Now Ellie and Sam are on to the next phase, actually finding their gate. And as they're about to find out, some airports are absolutely massive, and their gate seems like it's a world away. They look at their boarding pass, and it says Gate B12 in Terminal 2. Sam's first reaction is, that sounds really far away from here. Far away just means a long distance. And Ellie totally agrees, calling the airport huge, which means, incredibly big. They've got quite a walk ahead of them. Luckily, they find one of my favorite airport inventions, a moving walkway. Those flat escalator things that just help you glide along. Perfect for tired feet. And while they're on their way, they do a little plane spotting. They see one plane taking off, that's going up into the sky, and another one landing, coming down to the ground. After all that walking, a break is definitely what they need. Ellie has a great idea. Stop at the airport lounge. This is a special area where passengers can just chill out, away from all the noise and chaos of the main terminal. And wow, the lounge is exactly what they needed. It's described as nice and quiet, it's got these soft, comfy chairs, and all sorts of food and drinks. Sandwiches, fruit, coffee, you name it. But the best part? As Sam quickly finds out, everything is free. It is the perfect place to recharge before the flight. So after kicking back and enjoying the peace and quiet, they know they can't get too relaxed. It's time to head to the gate for the final, and let's be honest, the most exciting part of the whole airport experience, actually boarding the plane. This timeline is super important. It's the final countdown. They got to the airport about 2 hours early, so they know they need to leave the lounge about 75 minutes before their flight, because boarding itself starts 30 minutes before takeoff. You've really got to keep an eye on the clock. So as they're waiting there at the gate, we get to see two very different but totally normal pre-flight feelings. Sam admits, I always get a little nervous. It's just a habit. But Ellie, she feels something else. Her heart is beating faster too, but for her, it's excitement, not fear. Both are completely valid ways to feel before you fly. and then they hear it, the announcement to board. This last part is actually really simple, as you can see here. There are just 4 basic steps. Get your boarding pass ready, give your documents to the staff, walk down that long bridge to the plane, and then you're at the door. You've made it. Okay, so that was Ellie and Sam's whole journey. Now, let's go back and pull out some of the most important, most useful phrases from their trip so that you can feel totally ready for your next flight. I love this. Think of this table as your little cheat sheet. On the left, you've got what the staff might say, usually pretty formal. And on the right, your simple, natural, perfect response. So when they say, "May I see your passport?" you say, "Of course, here you are." When they ask you to put your bag on the scale, you just say, "Sure, here you go." It really is that simple. All right, moment of truth. Do you remember that question I asked you way back at the beginning? Let's see if you were listening during the check-in scene. What is the weight limit for the suitcase?
And the answer is 23 kilograms. That's right. Sam's bag was 24 kilos, so he was just 1 over the limit. He was super lucky that the check-in agent decided to let it go. It's a great little detail to file away for your own trips.
And now it's over to you. The absolute best way to make these phrases stick is to actually practice them out loud. Seriously, try it. Just follow the flight path we went through today, and I promise you're going to feel so much more confident on your next trip. You know, I want to leave you with this last thought from Sam because I just love it. He says, "The world is so big, and airports connect all of it together." I think that's really beautiful. And he's right. It's a wonderful reminder of why we travel in the first place, and how learning to communicate, even with just a few simple phrases, can connect us to this huge, beautiful world. Safe travels.